owner here. Today I'm deleting my EGR off my Ram 3500. This is a 2021. It's currently been deleted for about, I think, 7 months. Just the EGR's been turned off. I've never done the whole taking it all out and all that stuff. So it's just been turned off. The tune, no check engine light or anything. But yeah, today that's what we got going on. But yeah, this is my 2021 Ram 3500. Yeah, let's get to it. After you unclamp those, you're gonna have to just pry it open, but there's gonna be a little bolt right here that you gotta take off. This is like a bracket holding this pipe, but once you take it off, it should look like this with it unplugged as well. As you can tell, a lot of soot. Yeah, this thing's real dirty. Yeah, it's not as bad, but there's a little moisture in there, but yeah, this has to go. So here are the steps that I've done so far. I've taken off the black cover. It makes it easier to get access. Then you're gonna loosen these V clamps right here. You're gonna loosen them up and you're gonna take out the pipe. And there's also like a 8mm bolt right here, a bracket that holds the pipe. So once you take that out, it should be easier to come out. After that, you're gonna unbolt the EGR valve and the throttle valve right here. You're gonna unplug these two. Either way, if you're not doing the delete, if you're deleting your truck, these two has to be unplugged. But yeah, next step is taking this off, cleaning off any excessive old gaskets, and then you're gonna put your blocker plate on there. So after taking the EGR valve off, you're gonna put your blocker plates, make sure it's all tightened and that the seals are on. Next, you're gonna start removing the heat shield from here and the one from right below there. That'll be their next step. But here's how it should look so far. So after taking the two heat shield off, right here and right here, you're gonna start taking this piece and along with this one. I believe they all go together, so that's why you have to take it out at the same time. But there should be 4 bolts here and at least 2, 3, 4, like 5 bolts around here. So after you unbolt everything, all this should kind of come off in one piece. Yeah, just like that. So that's how it should look like when you take it all off. It comes all together. So far, this is all the pieces I have: EGR valve, the pipe, heat shield, and these. So what's a little tricky is to getting these 2 bolts out. This bolt's pretty easy. I use a 15mm, but I also got a wrench and we'll bend a little bit, and that should be able to get you right here into this crack. And then just use a pry bar and just pry it open. But after that, this should come out. Just pull straight out, and yeah, here you go. Next step is after you get these 4 bolts out from these brackets right here, and the one back there, you're gonna have to go get the 2 in the back. And this is my setup to go reach it. This is kind of the only way, most efficient way to grab it. So after you take those 2 out, it should be the bolts right there, and then you can save those bolts, and then you're gonna get a 7mm and unbolt this and just pop it off. After all that is done, you're gonna get to here. So after you take out that 7mm bolt, you pop it up, you just move it to the side. This is how it should look like. You don't have to unplug anything. Then from there, what people would usually do is, if you wanna do it the right way, you take all these bolts out and take the cover off so you can pop off this hose right here. But what I've seen is people cut these plastic pieces off right here, cut it from here, and then on the side, just as long as you don't touch this hole right here. Do not cut anywhere near there. You should be okay, and this should pop off. But yeah, just use any type of pliers just to chop it up. After you do your cut on the plastic parts, I use some pliers. That should be able to pop up, and a little coolant should leak out. So just be careful. It shouldn't be major enough where you need to drain the coolant. It's a hassle. But if your truck's hot, just release some pressure, and then when you take this off, and a little should spill out, but not too much. After you unplug that, the hose should be able to move like this freely, and this is when it gets tricky taking it out. So it has 2 studs like this in the back, so therefore you got to lift it, the EGR, from the back up, so that gives you some space so you can push this hose outwards so you can take out this EGR. So after you lift up the back end, it should come up on these 2 bolts right here, and then you should put a pry bar right in the middle between here and just pop it off. So this hose should come out, and a bit of coolant is gonna come out, so just make sure it's leveled so it doesn't spill too much. Here's my EGR now. I'm just putting it on the ground so it doesn't spill anywhere inside of the garage. But yeah, this is how it should look like when it's out. So to take off the bracket right here, there's gonna be 2 13mm bolts on this side, and that should pop it right up. It's a little tricky to get to, but just have an extension on your socket wrench and you'll be all right. So from this step, make sure you have the factory gasket seal on, and with this plate on top of it, and make sure this middle bolt right here is tightened. You can run some type of I think some gauge, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna tighten this and make sure these 2 bolts are tightened too with the factory bolts from the EGR. So now to get this piece inside the seal was a little bit tricky. I had to use some like Vaseline to help around the rings to get it in, but sometimes the O-ring's a little too big, so you might have to downgrade or downsize just a tiny bit so it can get pushed in all the way so it's flush like this. Or and then you can just clamp it together and then it push in. So it was a bit tricky, but nonetheless, it's in now. This is the finished product. I got my plate in. I had to do some adjustments, but bolts here, bolts back here. You plug back in this plug. After this, make sure all your clamps are tight right here and right here. The tube goes over, just plug this in, and don't forget to put this one right in, and with the 7mm bolt, tighten it. But yeah, that should be it for our EGR delete. Let's turn it on. So let's check it. See. All right, no check engine light or anything. So yeah, everything looks good.